that they're explaining on the live call, but it doesn't quite make sense for you to you, then make a note of that question that you have regarding whatever it may be. Maybe a terminology, it may be their strategy, and you don't quite understand it, then make a note of that to ask on these study groups. Okay. The person who asks the most questions is the person that learns the fastest. Okay. And so I'm gonna go straight into my strategy. But is there anyone that has any questions before I get started? Anything that they've been stuck on in the last couple of weeks since we've done the last study group that they want to ask on the call? If not, then we'll go straight into today's training. Okay, nobody has any questions. Like I said, guys, come make sure you have questions. If you come to these calls, I can share the information with you. However, if you don't have specific things that you want to learn to take your trading to the next level, then it's just going to take you longer to learn the skill set. Okay. Okay, Adeze, you say you have several questions. Okay, go for it. You should be able to unmute. What is your question?
Uh, okay. I'm wondering if I should let you, push out what you have.
Okay.
Because I like yesterday I was saying I didn't know how to take you call it
Partials.
fractional partials. Yes, I
Yeah.
don't know how to do that. I'm not
Mhm.
very clear on how to draw the lines. So I have all these questions, but I'm
Yeah.
thinking that it might distract from what's going on. So if you have something for us, let's listen to that, and then
And
we'll
then
ask
and then
however
if
you
I
want
don't
it.
answer it, yeah, and then if I
If
don't
the
answer it,
answers don't come in what you're
then you can
delivering,
ask your
yes,
questions. Okay, great.
yes.
So let me do this. Okay, perfect. So far, what have you learned so far, Adeze, from the training?
Um, I've been, of course, going through the videos.
Yeah.
I'm learning terms like brother engulfing, and I can identify them. I'm sorry, I'm going to use the wrong terms. A candle, a longer candle, and then the big one that is longer than the last two. The brother engulfing, it could
Yeah.
be bearish or bullish. So that's that one. I'm not yet clear on the where you have the Asian, the
Asian
Asian
range.
high, the Asian low, the Asian middle.
Yeah.
They seem to get it very quickly on. So I don't know how to put that
So,
on
so more, this is
quickly.
more so not so much from the live calls, but from Elevate, from the videos you watch on Elevate on the back office.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So I've been watching the G Money and Murphy's
Yeah.
videos.
Hmm.
Yes, and
Marcus.
that's where I'm getting I'm just learning all the patterns, the structure. He called it the supply and demand.
Yeah.
So I'm watching all those to understand the structure. What I can look I can look at the map and see what do I think the supply and demand
Okay.
is. But I still can't look at the chart and make out what I see.
Okay.
Go.
Okay. I'm glad you shared that. How many is there anyone else that struggles with understanding the market structure? Okay. I see Dineska put her hand up. Anyone else? Either put it in the chat or on mute, because I'm sure you are not the only one that struggles with seeing the market structure. Okay. So that
I have one question, if I may ask.
go for it, Miriam.
Today, G-Money took the loan on
Yep.
the 20-minute rally-based rally.
Mm-hmm.
But I read that market will be changed at the 45 minute rally-based rally.
Yeah.
So I didn't took the trade because I was a little bit afraid. I expected that the price will come in lower, and from the 45 rally-based rally will probably the long.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure because Mr. Hand used a lot of rally-based rally or ATM candles on the really small time frame.
Yeah.
1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, so. And I don't understand how can I find the right entry for my trades. So
Okay.
I don't know if you understand me what I mean,
I
but
understand.
till now I really search about the ATM candles on the
Mhm.
15 and a higher time frame, but it doesn't. Um, I know that probably sometimes it's better find ATM candle on the small time frame. So probably if you can explain me or what's wrong with ATM on the smaller time frame.
Okay. So you're basically asking in terms of entry, how to
Yes,
identify which candlestick to
yes,
use for
yes, yes.
entry.
Mm.
Okay, so the first I'll get the chart up, and what I'll do is I'll clear the chart so you guys can only see so you can only see the candlesticks. First things first, and this is something to pay attention to. Okay, perfect. Okay, first things first, something to pay attention to is when you see ETM candles in the same zone on multiple time frames, it's a strong area of support or resistance. Okay, so I will go back to, let's see, where was it earlier today? Let's see, I'll go back to when I look to enter. Come on. Okay, he doesn't want to play nice. Oh, let's go back to here. I may have to refresh it in a second. Give me a second, guys. Okay, should be able to do it now. Don't know what it's doing. Why is it doing that? Oh, okay, perfect. So let's go back to, where was it? Around here. And yeah, where did I take the entry? Oh, I'm looking at the wrong currency pair. No one wanting to let me know I'm looking at the wrong currency pair. It's fine. Okay, cool. Okay, this is what I was looking for. So this is something that I was looking to find something. It's all right, Dina. It's fine. Okay, so this is a couple of things that I was looking for in regards to the direction of price. I actually went to the daily. I looked at where the daily open was, which was around here. I looked at the 12-hour and was it the 12-hour? Potentially the 8-hour. It won't show correctly here, but I looked at the high to the low where the golden zone is. Okay. I'll get rid of some of these here. Get rid of some of these lines so you guys can see better. Yep. All of this. And then I will map it out for you guys to see afterwards. Okay. So as I shared with you last week, I've got the monthly flip zone here, start of the month. I always put a line here to show where the monthly candlestick opens. If it's below that, normally looking for sells. If it comes close to it, there's a chance that the monthly candlestick can flip and we can look for buys. But I always go off based on market structure. So when I now go down to the daily time frame, I'm looking at the high to the low. Where can price go towards? The price is normally going towards the golden zone, or using the golden zone as support or resistance to sell or buy from the golden zone, which is in between the 50% and 61% of a previous high to a low, or a low to a high. Okay, is that making sense so far? Okay, so now when I go down in the smaller time frames, I'm looking for where can price potentially be headed to. We saw yesterday, price was, it had a big spike up and it was buying. So for me, I was only really looking for buys because it was buying towards a golden zone. Okay. Now, I looked at where can price get stopped. If you look at this, and if I was to put a line in and around this zone here, potentially even lower, this key area here, I'll make it orange. This is a key area for price on multiple time frames. It's been support and resistance. Okay. You can see here, anywhere between here, but you can also see here, got stuck. This is also a key area for price as well. But if you scroll along, you can see how important this zone has been for price historically. Okay. The key thing you want to do when you're analyzing to take a trade at the time you're taking it is you want to look left in the chart, because looking left will show you what is going to impact price at the time you're looking to take the trade. It will show you where the key areas of support and resistance are. Okay. And price is normally buying from a support to a resistance zone, or selling from resistance to support. Okay. Is that clear for everyone?
Could you repeat that? The price is going from?
But price is normally buying from support to the next key area of resistance, or normally selling from resistance to the next area of support.
So you use this support and resistance zone, also the Asian high and Asian low and Asian mid low for your entry, and also for your take profit.
Yes,
correct?
Correct.
Okay.
That's an easy way to see where the key areas of support and resistance are for that day. Okay, but I do also look at the overall overall structure, price movement, price action, and I'm looking at where can price be headed towards. Okay. Now, once I saw this, that was, yeah. So once I saw this price heading towards this zone, I said this is a key area for price. However, so it was this candlestick here. Yeah. So I saw that the golden zone is here. Once I go into the smaller time frames, it will make a bit more sense. Price had come to the 38%, pulled back slightly to another golden zone on a smaller time frame, which I'll show you. There's multiple golden zones that I look for when I'm trading. Okay. I look for the overall structure and then what price has done during that day. Okay. Overall structure and what price is doing during the day. It's key to understand that.
How far back are you going? A month or even longer?
No, I would just look, because when you see these wicks will tell you. So even here, this is long enough for me to see in a 4 hour. These wicks will tell you. When you see really long wicks like this, that means that there's strong resistance in this zone. If you see above the candlestick, If you see it below the candlestick, it means that there's strong support. Okay. This is a very easy way to see where support and resistance is.
And this is looking at the 4 hour.
4 hour, 4 hour, 8 hour or above. When you see multiple wicks in the same area, that it tells you this is a strong area of resistance, basically meaning price tried to buy up to this zone, and this one, it rejected really strongly from this zone multiple times. If you just look here, look how many times it got close to this and sold. Okay, so this is a really key area for price. And this is how, for me, when I see on the 5-minute time frame, a candlestick close on the 5-minute, no lower than 5-minute, above here, that's normally going to use this key area that was previously resistance now for support to continue buying. Okay. So this is something that I look at continuously, daily. But let me just show you here. Okay, so I will just put a box here for the golden zone. And what I'll do is I'll get rid of this fib. And I'll show you what I looked at on the 1 hour. Okay. So I did this. I'm always looking at the structure. So we had all of this buying yesterday. Price needs to sell before it can continue buying. So it bought from, this is where it started. This is where it found support. Got to here, and that's where it found resistance. Where did it sell back down to? Same golden zone. They have multiple different golden zones depending on what time frame you're looking at. So for me, the fact that it found support here tells me that the buyers are still in the market and are still trying to push the price up. They're looking to continue to buy. Okay. So initially I saw it here, and I believe there was 15-minute BC. Yeah. I was actually looking to take an entry from here, but it touched the wick, and from the wick it bought all the way up here, which is 130 pips. Okay. However, what I looked at is, okay, well, price has, still with market structure, price has now created, it's gone back to the golden zone, and now it's created a new high. If it now starts to sell, where is the next golden zone that price could potentially buy from? I do the same thing again. This is the next low to the next high. And then I actually sent out some trade ideas. This is the next golden zone. So I took buys from here. There was a 15-minute BEC. So I'll put this here. And so this will answer your question. I think it was Miriam that asked the question. This is a 15-minute BEC. And I was confident of taking this buy. It was also 20-minute rally base rally. These 3 candlesticks. It was a 30-minute BEC. 45-minute rally base rally, which is all it's all indications that this is an area for price to come back to buy. When you see in multiple time frames, these are lower time frames still, but when you see it on multiple time frames, if you see it on higher time frames, you're normally going to get a movement of at least 50 to 100 pips, potentially more. If you see it on the 4 hour or above, then you normally get a movement of 200 to 300 pips from that zone if you see multiple ETM candles in the same area. So let's say you see a BEC on the 4 hour, but you see a rally-based rally on the 8 hour, on the 12 hour, it's also a BEC. Normally means that's a strong area for price to get support or resistance from. Okay. Does that make sense? Everyone with me still so far?
Good question, Rowan, please.
Yeah.
But those are all ETM, this is Aniko.
Yeah.
These are all ETM candles pointing in the same direction, right?
Correct.
Because
Yeah.
my confusion comes when, of course, G-Money's indicator is really great. I mean,
Mhm.
not even, talking about the quantum of the previous one.
Mhm.
But it sometimes, especially if you look at multiple time frames, it
Mhm.
gives you a boatload of ETM candles. And I get easily confused by all the, drop-based drop, rally-based rally, BECs, both directions.
Mhm.
And I sometimes find it, actually often, I find it hard to determine which one is really the one that I should give, which is the one that I should believe, so to speak.
Okay.
Because I understand when you say that when you have multiples,
Mhm.
especially multiples in the same area on various time frames, that's a pretty strong signal.
Yeah.
But what if you have kind of, ETM candles indicating, crossing directions, if you will?
When you
Yeah.
say crossing directions, do you mean
What I mean is that
you-
some of them are drop-based drops, some of
Mm.
them are, let's say, bullish BECs.
Yeah.
Which one do you go with?
So you wanna go with market structure.
Mhm.
Okay. So if it's an uptrend, you want to go with the demand BEC or the rally based rally. If it's a downtrend, you want to go with the supply BEC or the drop based drop.
Unless you're trying to scalp against the trend, right?
Unless you're trying to scalp against the trend. Yeah, unless you're trying to scalp
Mhm.
against the trend. But I'm just going based off of my analysis.
Gotcha. Okay.
I prefer to trade with the trend.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So the key thing you can do here as well, if you're not sure, for me, I saw multiple time frames, and then all I did is I put actually this is what I was looking for. I put my stop loss underneath the wick. So that covers the 45-minute, the 30-minute, 25, the 20-minute, 15-minute. And I was actually aiming for the high. Okay. As the next area. But as I saw, I was actually looking on the 5-minute, and I saw that price was getting stuck in this zone. I knew this is a potential area price can get stuck because this is a drop-based drop, and this is the opposite. This is where price can start to sell from. So I actually took profit here because I wanted to see price just break through that. If price just continued to buy from here and didn't get stuck, then I would have just left the trade. But as I saw it getting stuck here, that's why I actually took profit here. But from the entry zone to here, that's around 30, around 32, 33 pips.
But that's a 5-minute drop-based drop. So
Yeah.
using, what we learned from G Money, if this is a stronger high time frame, you would, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, no, go for it.
You would probably be expecting that retracement back to that drop-based drop. And then, as you said, if you're trading with the trend, you could potentially expect price turnaround and just go with the direction of the original trend, correct?
Yeah. So let me share with you why I was cautious about leaving my trade and letting it run. I'll get rid of this. I'll go back to what I originally spoke about. This area is a strong resistance area, and it is the golden zone for the 4-hour time frame. So I already knew it was going to have some resistance. It was going to have some trouble getting through this zone. Okay. Let's say I saw this similar setup, but it was down here. I'll be more confident to hold my trade up towards the golden zone.
Got it. Yeah, because basically you had confluence there because you already had marked up the golden zone. I forgot that.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
No problem. Deniska, I think did you put your hand up on purpose?
Yes,
Yeah.
I would like to ask about how you determine the stop loss when
Stop
you
loss?
actually. I'm actually using the MetaTrader, and when I was trying to set up a stop loss and the take profit, it was in you could not put in pips or percentage of your account,
You can't
or
know.
maybe you convert somehow. For example, I'm going to risk 1% or 2%. How do I convert it into the prices in dollars on the right, when you see it on the chart on the right? So I don't know how much low should I go?
You basically need to understand pips. You need to understand pips and lot sizes. Okay. So give me an example. What size account is it?
300 euros.
Okay, 300 euros. Okay, so I'm just going to use so I normally use an ETM candle, the BC or rally base rally, as my stop loss. Okay, I prefer to put it here, but as I saw structure was down here, I was willing to use this as my stop loss, or this zone. Let me just double check where I put my stop loss for this trade. I believe it was here. Let me just see. I just check. If I check the Asian range, this will actually help me because I use that. Yeah. So I use I knew it was going to get stuck at the high of Asian. So I actually put my stop loss around here. Yeah, the low of this. Okay. So now, yeah, you now check, okay, well, how many pips is this stop loss? Which is, let's say, for instance, it's 20 pips, which it was around about 20 pips. Do you know, you said you want to risk 1% of your account? Okay, which is around £3. What lot size did you use to take the trade today?
I'm not also certain about that.
Okay, so let me just do, I'll do this here quickly. This is something that you have to understand. There's lot size calculators, but I understand this just by understanding the lot sizes. Anybody else confused about how to manage their lot size and understand how many pips they're risking in terms of their account? Anybody else have that confusion?
Yeah, actually, I really don't know how to set up the trade as such.
Okay, so let me just draw this out here. How did I know about price getting stuck at the Asian high? I said last week, Asian high, 50% and low are areas of support and resistance. Price will always find it difficult to break the Asian high, the 50% and the low. It also is extra confirmation because that was the London high as well. Okay, so in terms of lot sizes, this is literally how I worked out lot sizes, how it works. 0.01, 10 pips, which you can use the pips calculator. Like I said, if I do it from the body to down here, you can see these numbers here. These two are the most important. So what these two, this is 20 pips based on these two for gold.
Okay.
Okay. So 10 pips for gold equals 10 or pence for here in the UK, or 10 cents for every 10 pips. Okay. So if you want to use if you want to risk 1%, which is £3, 10 pips would be, sorry, 10 cents is for every 1 pip. So it would be roughly €1. Okay. Where is it from? Let's say pounds, for example. So now if you only want to risk £3, you want to use a lot size of 0. Well, you can't really go lower than 0.1. But if you use 0.1, 20 pips, you're risking maximum of €2.
Okay.
Okay. as your account gets bigger, you now can move this. If this is the same trade, and let's say it's £1,000 account, you would do 0.15, and now that allows you 20 pips would equal, let's say £30. It would be around £30. Okay, which is sorry, for 3,000, £3,000 account, not 1,000. That would be 1%. Okay, so the key thing to understand is it goes up in 0.01. You're risking for every 10 pips, it's $1, £1, €1. 0.10, 10 pips, it's £10. Same thing here. When you move a decimal point again, 1.00, 10 pips equals £100.
Okay, I see.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
pleasure. So once I understood that, now you can start to play around with lot sizes based on the number of pips your stop loss is. Okay, as long as you know how much 10 pips equals, then sorry, how the number of pips you're going to risk, then based on the account size, you work out, okay, what does the lot size need to be so that I'm only risking 1%.
And you said this is for gold. Is
This
it
is for gold.
different for different
Yeah. So
couples?
if you're using currency pairs, let me get up. Let me use this as an example.
No, just to know where to find it. If I will need this information, where to find it for the pairs, for different pairs.
No, this is for every pair, but in terms of understanding the number of pips you're risking, it looks slightly different, the calculator, for currency pairs. So when you do this again, if I do this, now you see these, okay, let me do it again, let me stop. Yeah, okay. Just these two numbers, that means 10 pips. Okay.
Yeah.
The decimal point, whatever is in front of the decimal point, that's how many pips it is on the currency pairs.
Okay.
Yeah, the same measuring tool.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, okay, awesome. Now let me jump off of here. Let me get rid of this. Okay, so we've gone over structure. So I'll just put that there. Now we've looked at the fib. And everyone understand how I use the fib to get an idea of where to enter. So this is really important because if I'm using the fib from here, let me go back to the right pair, get rid of this.
Rowan, may I ask?
Yeah, go for it.
When you're using the fib,
Yeah.
which one you take in the if you're going from up or down or up, which one is the closest one? Wick or wick taking it from? Which one is the closer? Next one or next one higher? Because most of the time I was picking up the wrong one when I'm back testing, and it doesn't work for me. That's why I would like to know which one you're focusing on to pick it up.
The lowest point to the highest point.
Straight away the last candles.
Yeah, so it's not necessarily the last candle. The lowest point where price found support, let's say because we're going based on the uptrend, which is here. This is where price started buying from. It got to here and then it started selling. So now this is the high. Wherever it finds resistance and starts selling, that's actually then the next high that you want to use the fib on.
And it is the same on all of the time frames?
All the time frames. If I go to the
Sometimes
4 hour, same thing. lowest point to the highest point, if you're looking at where price can potentially come back to. The only reason I did it all the way here is because overall we are still on a downtrend on the 4 hour. Do you see this? It hasn't broken this high. So to me, price is still on a downtrend. So I'm looking at, okay, well, price did all of this selling. It needs to come back to a golden zone, which is why I used here as the low, here is the high. That makes sense, Peter?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Could you please say that again? I didn't quite get it. Because
Okay.
yeah, it's still on a downtrend. Because I can see the
When you look
peaks
on
are
the
getting
higher
lower.
time frames, you can see that price is on a downtrend. Okay.
Yeah.
Actually,
So
right now it's still consolidating.
the highs are getting lower. Okay.
Yeah, the highs are getting lower. Until you see price break above these highs here, that's when it's now on an uptrend.
Mm.
But this is why it's important to understand on the higher time frame what is going on. 4 hour or above, you want to understand. For me, because I'm only looking to trade an intraday trade, which may last 30 minutes to an hour, I don't really look higher than the 4 hour because I'm looking at New York session, and that's enough time for me. If you're looking to do an intraday trade that is based on the 4 hour time frame, but you're looking to, let's say, find a low of the let's say the daily. Now, if you're finding the golden zone on the daily, you can't expect in the same day that it's gonna go all the way to your take profit, because that's at least 24 hours. Okay. So even though I do my analysis of where the golden zone is on the 4 hour, I'm only expecting price my trade to be on for 30 minutes to an hour, because I'm taking the trade based on a lower time frame. Let's say, I'll give you an example. Let's say there was a supply BC here. In this zone, I saw price going up to here. I already know that this is in my golden zone. It's an ETM candle. It's going to sell from here. However, it may take 8 hours. It may take 12 hours. It could take 16 hours to get all the way down to here. But within that movement, you're normally going to get at least, where you are going to get at least 50 to 100 pips. And that's all I need for the day. Okay. So let me just check I've answered all the questions. And we've got Florian and Mr. Hunt on the call as well, which I'd love for them to share. Just a quick question. The new indicator by G-Money, the quantum trader, that has a lot size calculator built in, also shows a pip value. Okay, yeah, exactly. So you can also use that in terms of calculating the pips. For me, I've already found a system that works for me in terms of calculating the pips, but if that works for you, then use it, okay? Now, remember, as I said, 4 hour, I was looking, I saw that price was close to the golden zone, but it wasn't quite at the golden zone yet. And this is a strong area of resistance. So I was looking. So this is a sell from here. I expected price to sell from this zone. But at the time I was looking at the chart, I wasn't able to catch this initial trade, which is actually the entry I wanted to catch, but it didn't come down to the body, as I said, here of the 15-minute, which was a golden zone entry for me. And so I waited to see if it would create a new high. It created a new high. And then with the pullback to the next golden zone, that's when I bought it back up and caught 30 pips, which I was happy with. Okay. The other thing I could have done, this is the other play that I could have looked for. Let me just do this again. I'll get rid of all of this. Okay, get rid of this. Actually, I'll keep this here. So as I've said, this is the golden zone. So this is the golden zone for sales. Everyone with me? So what do I now look for inside this zone to take an entry? Somebody tell me in the chat what I look for.
ETM candles.
Yeah, an ETM candle. But there's no ETM candle on the 4 hour, none on the 2 hour. Let me move this across. 1 hour, you have one here, but wasn't quite in the golden zone. So for me, I wasn't comfortable with this. 45-minute, 30-minute, 20-minute, 15-minute. Still, and I don't really like going lower than that to take an entry. Now, because I didn't find any ETM candle in this zone to take an entry from, that's actually why I didn't take the sell. Even though I knew price was going to get stuck here, I wasn't happy to take the sell because I didn't have my confirmation of an ETM candle. Okay. So I didn't take the trade of taking a sell from here, even though my bias was still that it was going to get stuck here. And sell, there was no ETM candle on a high enough time frame, a 50-minute or above, for me to take the sell from here. So this is, I would say this is a riskier trade to take, what I took today, but based off of just my understanding of the market now, of just back testing, not only back testing, taking the trades when I see it. That's why I was confident. It created this high, and it's going to come back to here because that is a golden zone on a smaller time frame. So I can't expect a movement of 50 to 100 pips to buy through here, because this is an area, a strong area of resistance on the 4 hour time frame. So if I'm taking a buy on the 15-minute, I can't expect it to break a 4 hour resistance zone. Is that making sense? That's why I was cautious about holding the trade the whole way, because for me, it still needs to sell from here, and there needs to be a close. This is the only time that I'll look to take a trade, to buy, continue buying. This is what I look for, and it just keeps it very simple for me. I need the price, a couple of things here, on the 5-minute time frame to close above the 61%. If I don't see it close, meaning the body of the 4 hour time frame candlestick closing above here, then the price hasn't decided to change direction. It has to close above the 61%, which is, as I've said before, is also a strong support and resistance zone for me now to have confidence to continue looking for buys above this zone. It is the same thing with sells. For me, let's say price has been, okay, so let me show you another example, and then I will pass it over to Mr. Hunt and Florin. Okay, so we had all of this buying. As I said, price needs to sell before it can continue buying, or if it's selling really strong, it needs to buy before it can continue selling. Okay, so I did the fib from the high, sorry, from the low to the high on the 1 hour of this, and unless price closed below this 61% zone on the 1 hour, that's confirmation price can continue selling. If I don't see it close the body below here, for me, it just wants to continue buying. Is that making sense?
Yeah.
That's how it's allowed my risk management to get better, because I've got a clear indication of, if this happens, okay, I don't take this trade, or change my mind. I'm able to now change my mind during a trading session, which you guys have seen me change my mind. I was confident on sells, I believe, from here, and then I saw price pulled back, and it wasn't able to break the golden zone on this move here. So I'll do it here. It was here. Yeah. So we were doing the trading session. This was a key area for price that I expected price to sell from, which it did. It came back up, and I expected it to sell from this zone again. However, it didn't push back down and it didn't close below the golden zone. So that now allowed me to change my mind, along with the Oracle and the cloud. Allowed me to change my mind. I'll go to the 5 minute. Will it let me go by that far? Should we wait a second? So I was seeing this, and I was seeing, I'll look in the chat in a second. I was expecting price to have a really strong sell towards here. And what time is this? This is in the morning still. Let me go to the 30-minute time frame. Okay, we play this until you're open. Okay, so this is now. Okay, perfect. So now I'll go back. Okay, so now we're looking at okay. Questions in a second. So we normally jump on here. I'm expecting price is going to sell from here and continue selling down. But I see this price is above the cloud and on the 5 minute, and the Oracle is hovering around the Oracle. This is why I'm able to change my mind as I'm looking at the chart. Unless price broke below this low and continue with the structure of a downtrend structure, I wasn't going to look to take sales. Let me say that again. I'll get rid of cloud so you guys can see this. If you're looking at the candlesticks based on the 15 minute, do you see a downtrend or an uptrend? Just based on seeing this. You see an uptrend, right? So this is why, even though my bias was for sales, I needed this zone here to be broken. And then for price to close below here, for me to then start to reanalyze and look for sales. The fact that it didn't come back to this zone is what made me, along with the 5 minute cloud, think, okay, I need to reanalyze. And then all I did is, I think it was here, I said to the guys, if price breaks here, then I'm expecting the price to continue buying up and to the next BC, which was this 1 hour BC. That was the target. And so if we look, I'll go back to the 15 minute just to play it, just to get about that zone. We saw this happen. And I'll go back to here. Okay. Now, once I saw that this area here, which had been a strong area for price as resistance, was broken, that was confirmation to me to look for buys. You go back in the past. Let's probably see better on the 1 hour. You can see. That's where we are. Contact this for a second. Cloud. You can see that this is a strong area for price. Remember what I said about the wicks? When you see multiple wicks in the same area, means it's a strong area of resistance or support. So I knew if price is able to break above here and close on at least the maximum I'll go is the 5 minute, that's confirmation to me that price can continue buying up. And then this was the next target, this 1 hour. This is the next area that price can get stuck. Okay. Hope that's made sense so far. And I've gone over a lot today. What I will do now, is anyone get any questions? If not, then I will pass it over to Mr. Hunt, and then we'll have Florin if there's any other questions regarding what I've just shared.
Just a question.
Yeah.
Not really. You've gone over so much, and I feel like I need to go and really digest this. Do we have access to this recording?
Yes.
I'm going to need to watch this again to
You
let
will.
it sink in. Thank you.
You will need to watch it again. Trust me, this isn't analysis just came overnight. I just didn't understand what I was doing. Really, I would say it's only really the last 6-7 months that I've really been able to hone in and understand market structure, which has helped me with my entries when I'm trading and exits.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So be patient with yourself. Be in a hurry to learn, but be patient with how quick you learn it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome. Okay. Let me just double check. Mr. Hunt,
Yeah,
are you able to share?
There we go. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Over to you, Mr. Hunt.
You know, it's so nice to sit and watch and listen in on this, because every call you learn. And I think I watch you guys, I see the questions you're asking. I see some of you are sat there, pen leaning forward. I can see how badly you want to learn and have success with this. And you know, Rowan doesn't need to put this call on. He doesn't. Elevate Education does not say that you get access to Rowan Bond or Florin, myself. So, you know, I think if Rowan is going to do this, then I urge all of you, there's 35 of us on here, participate. Don't just sit in and listen, because you feed off of the energy from the people. Imagine we do an event right now, and that event has 1,000 people, and they're cheering and asking questions, and they're getting the maximum from it. I can tell you, you're going to get the maximum from the speaker. Whereas, imagine we go and do an event, but there's a screen up. I can't see you. I can't hear you. I'm on the stage, I'm talking, and I don't even know. So therefore, we don't feed off the energy, which then means the less questions that come in, the less creativity in the mind that we can share more things. Really important. So firstly, I want to give love to Rowan for doing this. Secondly, I want to give love to all of you guys that are asking questions and participating with this. Now, I understand some of you may be driving or whatever, so don't feel you're being told off for it, but it's really important for a study group call that you take away the maximum that you can. And you will feel overwhelmed. You will feel like many times on this journey in 2.5 years, I questioned if I could do this. Okay. I questioned, can I really do this? And then today, now we're giving trade ideas, and it's transformed massively. So one thing that I have to make crystal clear, Rowan trades differently to me. There are similarities, but he has figured out a strategy that works for him. So information I'm going to give you, it may conflict with his strategy and mine. Well, hang on, Rowan said go with the trend, but David, you just said you're taking a sell at a 5-minute ETM. And so it's really important to know that you need to figure out your strategy. Yeah. So I've written down some stuff here. Number one, if you haven't been involved in this company for longer than 4 or 5 months, elevate education is key. Repetition of the basics. Okay, repetition. Now, the great thing is once you go and watch the basics and you still don't get it, study group call is where you say, hey, I've watched this video here, but I still don't get the damn pips and lot sizes. Okay, please, can you just, I've tried to do it, but I'm confused. And then we'll be able to really help. I'd rather that than people not learning the basics and trying, and then trying to shortcut by getting right, because it's not going to help your growth. Okay, that's the first thing. So the basics training. The second thing is I challenge, because I'm thinking, man, these people, they're asking so many questions that they need help. They need help. Okay, how can we change the system so that when someone comes in, they follow a specific system so that they don't miss classes or certain module 1, module 2, module 3. You can't go from module 1 to module 4 and then expect to get it right because you haven't gone to module 2 or 3. But how do you know what they are if we haven't got a system? So again, it comes down to me. I think everybody going forward, if you've been in the company at least 3-4 months, you need to come on the call with a trading strategy. So Rowan can say, any of you ask a question, Ryan, I don't get this. And so Rowan can say, okay, Aniko, come on the chart, show me what your trading strategy is. Yeah. So she can tell you and giving you a heads up on what a trading strategy should be, what currency pair, how much percentage of your account you're willing to risk for 1 day to lose, what percentage you're looking to make for the day. And so within those margins, how many trades and how do you take each trade? So David, I've got a trading strategy on gold where I'm willing to risk 2% total for the day. And I'm looking, really, my goal is around 0.5% to 1% profit. Okay. And so I have a plan that I take a trade that I've figured out a strategy where when I take a trade at certain areas, there's 20 pip stop loss and a 20 pip take profit. And I am going to risk 0.25% per trade or 0.5% per trade. Okay. So if I take 4 trades in a row, I've got if I do 0.5%, if I do 4 trades in a row that I lose, that's me done for the day. David, here are my last 10 trades and here are my wins and losses. It's not working for me. Can we go over my strategy? Yeah. Now we have numbers that we can go and say, well, you took a trade here with this stop loss, this take profit, and look what price did afterwards. Maybe tweak it like this. And now you go back to the drawing board and you keep testing. It's a bit like cooking. Yeah. David, I've got these ingredients. I've tried to make this. It didn't quite work. Well, why don't you try a little bit less of that, a little bit more of that, go away, try it again and see how it goes. Yeah. And then you come back and you redefine and you try it again and you try it again. And all of a sudden you'll come up with a recipe that how comes my gran can make something without even having any recipes at all. She can just go in my cupboard. She used to be able to go in any cupboard and she could make anything because repetition of knowing and knowing and knowing. Okay. So the second thing I wrote down is I question all of you. Do you have a trading plan? And most people don't. They don't. And so it's really important to say, I don't have one. Instead of saying, I don't want to say I don't have one because I look like a fool in front of 36 people because socially now we're accepted in a way where we can't show our vulnerabilities and that we're making mistakes and we're failing or we don't get it because everybody says, ha, ha, ha. No, that's not what this community is about. This community is about saying, if you're struggling, you better let us know on this call. Otherwise, we're gone and we can't help. It's a lot harder to help on group chats than it is on a Zoom. It's a lot easier to help face to face. 3 times I've said I'll do meetups here in Brno for Slovakian Czech. Nobody's reached out. I can't help anymore, you know? So the second thing is trading plan. The third thing is pips. Pips were a bloody nightmare for me. I'm a dumbass. And at school, I struggled. Math teacher hated me. I hated her. I hated math. Okay. So this is how I managed to figure out pips. All right. The lowest lot size. So you choose the lot size. You choose how much you want to risk for every pip, every point that price goes up or down. Okay. So a 0.01 equals 10 cents. Yeah. 0.02 equals 20 cents. 0.10. So can anybody tell me in the chat, all right, how much does 0.11 lot size equate to in dollar? And be honest, right? When you see the results here, be honest, okay? How many of you honestly did not think it was $1.10? Because if you all say I get it, everybody, we don't need to talk about it anymore. But if there's one person here that's like, I did not know it was $1.10. Yeah. So if I ask you a question and I'll do this, so all of you that got it right there, all of you that got it right, okay, you, and please help the other people by not answering the next question, okay? Let the other people that haven't answered answer this question. I wouldn't have known. I use a lot size calculator. No problem. Calculators are fine, but it's the same with anything. I'd rather my brain to rely on than technology. Okay. So now I'm going to ask you questions. Those of you that didn't answer and maybe didn't know the answer. Okay. I want you guys to answer me this. How much is 0.55 lot size? Can anybody answer that to tell me what the answer is to that hasn't already answered, but maybe might think, you know what, I still don't quite know. $5.50. Yeah. There you go. Cool. Nice. Cool. So now you're getting it. Now there's other ways you can do it with gold. Okay, let me show you this. With gold specifically. Okay. And congrats to you guys that did that. Hang on, what's going on here? It's not letting me do it. I've got the Rowan Bond technology syndrome here. It's not loading, right? I've got 1,000,001 apps open actually, so it doesn't help when my processor is not the fastest. Okay. So with gold, you see the price down the right-hand side. Okay. Whatever the price is at, really focus on this. Whatever the price is at with gold. So let me. Wow, it really doesn't want to play today. There we go. So price at $2,035.10. Okay. Now, if price goes up to $2,036, that's 10 pips. Yeah. So if I say, guys, we're going to take a sell now at 2035.1, then 10 pips is 2036.1. And then 20 pips is 2037.1, okay? Just for gold. So every dollar gold moves is 10 pips. Yeah, that just helped for me. It made it a lot easier for me to figure out how to overcome that one, okay? So that's lot sizes and pips. Become a master of that because it's going to really make a big difference on your trading. In terms of in terms of trading strategies, this is what's going to happen. You're going to study something and it will work and it won't work. Okay. And then what will happen is as you notice patterns, you'll see it's muscle memory. You'll see patterns over the next 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, and 2 years. You'll see certain things that keep happening. Remember, nothing's ever a guarantee. But 85% of the time, it will probably do it again. Yeah. So if you know that, now you have to understand you've got to lose 15% of the time, get it wrong. And it doesn't mean you get it wrong. It means that you have actually got it right because you predicted it was going to 15% of the time not go how you expected. So you actually got it right. And once you can come to terms with that, then you'll really realize that it just becomes probability. And then you have to condition your mind to become a robot. You have to become a robot, which is why you see I've been posting the trade ideas in the Discord. The trade ideas will be majority of people. It will. I've been posting trade ideas every day for everybody to copy, stop loss and take profit in the Discord. 25th of January to the end of January, it's done 3.8%, okay? And already this month, we've done 6.7%. All we're doing is placing the trade, 20 pip stop loss, 20 pip take profit. We're placing it as a pending trade. So we're waiting for price to hit it to trigger it. And this is what it's doing. And I have absolutely no stress whatsoever. And that's because over time, we figured out probabilities of things that are going to happen. And we also have figured out a strategy that works. So let me give you an example on this. The account this month is at 6.7% profit. Each trade that I take, I risk around 0.5% per trade. So if we go and place 3 trades tomorrow and we lose all 3, that means we lose 1.5%. However, the actual month of February would still be around 4.5%, 5% roughly. And now I know with probabilities that if I lose 3 in a row, there's a high possibility we're going to win one again. I'm not looking at, man, I've got to make the money back. Because we've conditioned the mind to know that this account will end up at about 3% plus for the month. Minimum. Because of the way that we're doing it and the strategy that we're doing. So you have to come up with a strategy that works for you. So I heard some of the questions earlier. And Nico, you asked some questions, right?
Yes.
Cool. So you had a question for Rowan about ETM candles, high, on higher time frames and which ones to take. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Straight away in my head, I was like, okay, Aniko, what's your trading plan? How do you trade? Yeah.
Yes.
What trades have you tried taking in the last 10 days with data to say, here, I've tried these ones, but it's not working for me, what you're saying? Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's a bit like my children when they go to school. The only way they can get graded on their homework is by doing the homework. They won't know how to get better. They won't. Actually, I don't even know what ETM stands for. It basically is
stands for enter the matrix, but it basically means the BEC is value-based rally.
Yeah, ETM candles. I don't even know. I don't know 90% of this verbiage. I don't even know. I don't even know what ETM means. I didn't. Yeah. I only realized that FVG is fair value gap the other day. That was fantastic. Now I don't know what a fair value gap is. I actually don't know what it is. Yeah. So it's really important. So look, Tracy, I appreciate you writing. I don't have a trading plan, and I've been in for a while now. I seem to get confused because I've been listening to too many people. Donnie, Deanna, G Money, and today listen to Rowan seemed more simple. So, Tracy, how long have you been in the company? Cool. Colin said that Asian time is best for him. I don't have one either. 4 years, Tracy, okay? This is why when we're doing these calls now, my brain is in overload thinking, how can we make this better for the team? Okay, you join, go watch the basics. You're not even allowed on a live call, or don't ask questions on the live call because you're not ready to get the answer. Just watch, learn, okay? Now, once you start to understand it, now you figure out a trading strategy. You can't go to level 3 until you show us your trading strategy and you've tested it for 2 weeks, yeah? So now you've tested it for 2 weeks. Now, this may sound tedious, but it may take a month to 2 months, but you'd rather it take that long than 4 years and still not be at a point where you're comfortable with it, yeah? So now you go away, you've got to come up with trading strategy. Your trading strategy will probably be nowhere near what you use in a year to 2 years time, but you have data to work around. Yeah, you have a plan, you have something there. Yeah. And once you have something there, it's a bit like my son, I'd like him to be a footballer. All right. So I'm going to teach him. And then once I put him in a football environment, I'm actually going to now be able to see him on the field and say, does he have 2 left feet or does he have a chance? Yeah. I will never know if he has 2 left feet or if he has a chance if I don't put him on the football pitch and we have the data to show it. So everything is data, everything is math, everything is formulas. Once you figure that out, you will now know how you want to trade. So Aniko, I'll ask you a question. What's your trading strategy? And it's okay not to know. It's not okay to not let people that can help you, not let them know, because we can't help. So Aniko, what is your trading strategy?
I don't have a specific one. I've been still winging it. I try to trade gold. I mean, with TradeBuddy, I started sort of following GJ and UCAD also, but they're really not my pairs. As I mentioned earlier in the side chat, gold I get because it's a decimal system at a 10. I can't calculate that much. I'm not very good with math either. So when we get into those different pairs, that confuses me. So I try to stick with gold. Initially, I blew a huge account because I just could not fathom, I could not understand how much gold could move, and what that really meant in lot size for me. So, to be honest, I don't have a specific, well written out trading plan. I know that I spend way too much time on the chart. I know that what you do appeals to me a lot, kind of being a scalper. I don't think I have the temperament or the personality to be a scalper. So
let me share something. Let me share something with you, right? For everybody, you all have the temperament to do whatever you want. Remember the saying: whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. How do I know this? Because I know 99% of people that go to their job, they do not have the temperament to go and go to the job, but they do it. They do it. 99% of people go to their job and they don't want to be there. Okay. So somehow they still turn up at the job and they still get paid. Why? Because they've conditioned their mind that they have to do it. So the whole theory of trade your personality within reason, but I can change my personality to trade differently. It just depends on if I believe I can or not.
Let me rephrase that then, because as I was listening to Rowan earlier, I wanted to comment, but I didn't want to kind of disturb his train of thought. He was talking about his bias, which was for a sell, but then when price action kind of took the price to a certain ETM candle, he says like, oh, now since it kind of broke that level, I changed my bias and I went with the buy. So that is huge, and that's where I'm still lacking. And that's what I mentioned, or that's what I meant by not having maybe the temperament to be a scalper, because I am slow to change. I'm slow to at this point to realize where I need to kind of just dump my bias and go with the flow. And usually the day trade, like the way G Money trades, that allows for retracement and then price, taking back up where you originally thought it would. So that's what I meant by temperament, is that type of a trading is what I've been doing. And I basically learned to live with and be comfortable with red ink, so to speak, drawdown, because I know that now that I understand a little bit more about gold's movement, I know that price will come back to me if I just, am patient enough. But of course, scalping is a bit different. That's what I meant by temperament.
So Rowan has been trading for 2.5 years. Rowan has probably back tested more than all of you combined. Rowan has asked me probably more questions than all of you combined. Rowan has asked other people and studied other traders, probably more than all of you combined. Within reason, there's some of you I know, but you get the gist of what I'm saying. So now Rowan has figured out a strategy that works for him. And because of his experience of looking at the chart, he can now shift. A bit like a football coach. You play a team, and during the first 15 minutes, they make 2 substitutions and change the entire formation. Why? Because they noticed they had a game plan, but they noticed from experience what happened. A bit like somebody on a boat that's sailing on a boat using, not even using a certain sail, and then all of a sudden they see something change and they start changing everything on the mast because of their experience. But they also have probably been in a boat that's capsized. Yeah. So again, it comes back to, I've said this to you and Nico privately, you'll speak more negative about yourself than positive. You have to focus on positive speaking. You have to focus, your brain doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's not. So if you highlight the negatives, and you may not think they're negatives, but for me, I see the negatives that you're picking on yourself. If you highlight that, then you're gonna be attracted to that. Okay, so you need to go and understand what it is that you really need to learn from this. And the key thing is like Tracy said, like Colin, like you, and there's others that are still socially scared to tell us they don't have a trading plan on this call. Okay, which is fine, but we're going to push you out your comfort zone on these calls, because we're going to make it so that this is the school of we don't give a crap. This is the school of you're kicked out if you stay quiet for the next 3 schools. If you stay quiet and we don't see anything going on, and there's no participation, and we don't know if you've got a trading plan or not, you're not allowed in. What? Because I don't know if I don't even know if we can help you. But if you wave the flag, I'd rather help somebody that keeps messing up, saying, David, I'm rubbish, I'm messing up. Please help. I can't figure this out, whatever it is. I tried a trading plan. You said it last week, I haven't done it. Okay, well, I'd rather help you that's told me that than somebody that hasn't even tried. Yeah. And if that's the case, on what Colin has just said, providing you do not quit, we will figure it out. We'll figure it out. Just like I said, if you lose your child in the mall, how long are you going to give it until you quit looking for them? But if you lose your keys in the mall, how long are you going to give it until you stop looking for them? I bet you the answer is different. Why? Because you want it more. So if you really want success here, in anything in life, whatever it may be, you will have it. You just can't quit. And it's better to be around people like myself, Rowan, Florin, and others on this call that I see that have that inner gene of we just win. We just figure it out and win. And you may see our losses and you may see us having real crap times, but eventually we win. So now we're giving you the information. Rowan's giving you the information. I don't want Rowan on here teaching you guys lots all the time. That actually devalues him and what you can get from him. You guys need to now say, okay, we're going to go and learn it. Do you know what you can do? You guys on this call can set up a study group call yourself. Somebody can say, hey guys, you know what? We're in that study group call. If we want to maximize Rowan and David's time and not have to ask them about lot sizes every week, why don't we come together as a group and ask these questions? And when we come on, we can actually help each other figure it out. And then boom, on this call, we really maximize it. Now we're thinking. Yeah, now we're thinking. Essentially, that's what the trading chat is in Discord, but nobody uses it. I'm watching the chats right now and it's making me want to shut down Discord already. It is, because nobody uses this stuff. We're trying to put everything out there for you guys to have success. I can come on here and show you my strategy. Rowan can show you his. But if you aren't doing what we put there for you to do, we'll go. We'll go and find other people that want it. Maybe, I've said this all the time, maybe we have to charge you 10 grand. Because if I charge you 10 grand and I say next week, you'll come back with trading strategy, there is a guarantee. Here, Aniko, you're going to send me 10 grand. You're going to do what I tell you to do. And if ever you don't do what I tell you to do, then you won't get your 10 grand back or keep it. But If in the next 6 months, every call we've been on, everything I've told you to do, you've done it and tried to do it, doesn't mean you have to have success, but you've tried to do it every time, in 6 months, I'll give you 10 grand back. Now I bet you do what I tell you to do. Now I bet you chat on the Discord. Now I bet that you do a straight trading strategy. Now I bet why? Why is that? Because you're so used to having job mentality where it's guaranteed and you're scared of losing big amount of money. So when you put more in, you do more. I haven't figured out how to get my notifications on Discord yet. On Telegram, I had it. Do you know what, Chandra? I really don't know the answer to that. You're probably gonna have to go on YouTube. Okay, probably gonna have to go on YouTube. So for this, you know, this is why I know it's a study group and I haven't really given much on trading. I think the information I'm giving you here is probably the most important for trading. And so I challenge all of you. Do you have a trading strategy? And whatever the strategy is that you come up with at first, it's going to be different afterwards. I've done this so many times. Look, I can give you different ideas for how to figure out a strategy. Okay. You could do an Oracle only strategy on the 15-minute. This could be a strategy. Okay. 15-minute Oracle, and you just go and back test it. So all you have to do is spend a weekend. Remember, weekends for the week, because you don't want to do it, because that's your time off, family time, rest time, Netflix time, eating crap time. That's why people don't have success that are stuck in their job. Okay. Why? Because weekends for the week. They do what all the weak people do. So you have to do what everybody else is not doing. Okay. So if I refresh the chart, and now I'm going to try and figure out if price comes to the Oracle, does it reject and go past it, and how many times does it do it? Now, in real time, I can look at the daily trend. I can look at the 4-hour and where there's ETMs in the higher time frame. So there's so many more. I can look at where the Asian range is and say, oh, we're above Asian. That's another confirmation to take a buy there. And so I'm going to give you, just without any of that at all, just the Oracle. Okay, just the Oracle. So let's take a look and see if we can catch a buy at the Oracle when it gets within, I've recognized, around 1 to 2 pips or touches it. Okay, so let's take a look. Let's move, let's move, let's move. Wait till it gets to the Oracle. We'll see. Boom. Okay, cool. Let's pause. All right. So let's dissect this. This is how you come up with trading strategies. Yeah, if you want to, this is a scalping strategy as such. Okay. Has it just gone back to it? No, it's cool. So now if I'm looking for a buy, now I've got to figure out a pip strategy that works. Okay. So for those of you that know me, I like a 20 pip stop loss and 20 pip take profit with gold, because most rejections, that's definitely not, most rejections with gold, because I back tested it so much, at certain ETM candles are around 20 pips, 10 to 20 pips. Okay, so this one here, let me go to, I don't know if it's going to let me do this. Let me try the 10. What date are we on? 2nd of November. It should do. Let's see. 10-minute. Okay, cool. So you see this candle here? It came all the way down. Can you see that? Let me move this to the right a little bit. Let me see if it does the 5. I don't know if it will. 2nd of November. Oh, it does. Perfect. Okay, cool. So now we can see this. All right. The first candle to hit it, can you see which one it was? This one here. Yeah, this one here. So I'll be watching it on the 15, but also on the lower time frame. So I'm watching it in real time. And then I now know that when it got to that area, I could take a buy, and price rejected all the way back up. That would have been my 20 pips. Yeah. Okay, cool. So that's one trade, 2020 plan, one win. Okay, cool. Let's see if there's a probability of this happening over a prolonged period of time that I can actually get at least. Did anybody here put in the chat if you heard what Rowan's win ratio is? See, it's not about what listening, it's about what you hear. Put in the chat if you heard what his win ratio was. Or put, I didn't. There you go. See, you're not looking for the right things. Yeah. You're not listening to the stuff that is important, that I now recognize is important. I look for different things when I read a book. Yeah. When I speak to people, I look for different things that when they're speaking to me, I identify different things that I can tell the type of person they are already. If I see somebody that's quite outgoing and very loud, I know that probably something's happened quite hard in their life, that they have this kind of front up. Yeah. Look how many people, there's not one person that can say what Rowan's rune ratio was. Not one. Arguably, that was the most important piece of information he gave you. It was around 60, 65%, if I'm not mistaken. You guys get it? 60, 65% win ratio. That means if you take 10 trades, 4 of them are going to lose, 3 of them are going to lose. He didn't say 90%. 60, 65%. Okay, so I now know that if I'm going to take these types of trades, if it goes wrong, it doesn't bother me. It's just like blackjack. Oh, I lost that hand, I'll win the next one. Okay. So now price came back up to this area. Now, I might identify something here. I might identify, it's roughly 20 pips. About here and here. So I might make a decision now and see. Let's see if this one rejects, and then I'll tell you what I would think afterwards. And this is all you do. So, David, I've come up with a strategy here. Tell me if there's anything you think I should do differently or look for. Okay. So now we look at this one, see if it hits take profit, if it goes to stop loss. Okay. So we're looking at it. And that one hit stop loss. Okay. Now, what I've recognized with this one here, we had a nice big drop. This one, we're playing around by it still. It didn't go away from price far enough for me to think this is just going to reject. Yeah. So now I might come up with a strategy that I need price now to go away from the Oracle at least. What price are we at here? 85. So that's 10 pips is 86, 87, 88, 89, 90. Okay. So that's 91 is 60 pips, 92 is 70 pips. Maybe I need it price to move at least 60, 70 pips from the Oracle for me to then think about if it goes back to it to take a rejection. Yeah. Again, this is just back testing. So now let's press play, let price go away from it. I'm not taking any trades right now. Okay, cool. All right. So price now, as you can see here, went quite far away from the Oracle. Go here. Went quite far away from the Oracle. Actually saying that, it didn't go far enough, so I probably wouldn't have got involved in that. Plus we got news here. Remember, golden rule, most of my strategies do not work when there's news. Okay. And so I'm only showing you a strategy that you can try and figure out, just figuring out the Oracle. Okay. So now we're getting quite a way away from price. I'm happy with this. How many pips are we away from here? This is, there you go, 100 pips. Nice. Price comes back up to here. Let's see if we can catch a sell, providing there's no news, if price comes back up to this zone, or we'll see if the Oracle comes down to price. Okay. Let's just keep watching, keep watching, keep watching. Remember, news will wipe this out. Okay. Here we go. Let's see. Are we going to touch it? Nowhere near right now. Let's move price. And this is the perks of backtesting. It's boring. Takes forever. Cool. So now price came to it. And remember what I said. This can take, can go within 1 to 2 pips. So here, I probably would have executed the sell. Okay. Probably would have executed the sell. So we go 200 and then 200. All right, so that's 20 pip stop loss, 20 pip take profit. Okay, now we go to the 5 minute, take another look at it and see what, oh, we can't even do it. Didn't even do it. Only on the 15. Why the heck is that? How has that happened? I've seen that a few times, Ryan. Do you know why that is? Why it changes like that?
Got no idea.
I have no idea. It does this quite a lot, actually. Okay, now let's see if price comes down to it, hits it, and then rejects up. So I'm going over this just to give you an idea. You can come up with a strategy with the Oracle. So the easier way to do it is like this. Get rid of this. If you're not wanting to guess it and you just want to try and figure it out, Okay, now let's look at the Oracle. Came up, touched it. Did it come down 20 pips after it touched it? Yes or no? All right. Came up, just missed it here by a few pips, then rejected. Was it 20 pips? Yes or no? Came down, touched it. Was there news? You have to be careful. This one came up. When you see now that it's such a big move so quick, it's probably news. So you probably wouldn't take it. And so I'm just going over it, looking at it on the 15-minute. You can try it on maybe the 30-minute and see every time it gets close to the Oracle, does it reject off of it? It's just one strategy. If that's what you want to go and figure out, go and figure out. Then you could go and do what Rowan did. He went and just figured out the cloud. That's what he did. But you know what then happened? Rowan noticed the common theme when certain things happened with the cloud and the Oracle was at a certain point as well. Yeah, there's two confirmations. Then he recognizes the ETM to the left. And in answer to, I think it's Denise's question, I don't look at like a month back. I look at the last move back. So here, this move here, I'm only really focused on this move here. I'm not focused on what's gone on over here. Now, it can give me a better understanding by looking further. Let me give you an example of this, okay? Let's go to the 4 hour and give you a little bit better of an understanding how you can do that, because I noticed this earlier. Let's say now, this is let's say here, up here, right? We've got a nice area that's a support resistance zone, okay? Here. Now, if I send this all the way to the left, let me do that. Double click on it, extend to the left. Now let's see if this is a support resistance on previously that can give me more confirmations. And so I just go and look left and see if we have support resistance here. Oh, look what happened here. Came up and rejected big. Maybe this is another area of support and resistance. Yeah. So that maybe I might have more confirmations. As another example, let me do one here. Okay, so you can see where, let's say here, see all this support where price has got stuck again, right where price is now. Well, look at this when we scroll. Look at these wicks. Let me do this. Look at all these wicks, can't break it. Look at these wicks, can't break it. Look at these wicks here. Look at these here. Look at all of these. Look at these to the left here. Let's keep going left. Oh, this is a very strong support resistance zone. So now already, just looking at price, I'm expecting tomorrow, we may not, if we want to come down here, we need a big push. Otherwise, we may be looking to push up and bounce around in this zone. And so all I'm going to look for on the left-hand side is this candle here and see what's going on here to try and mark out my entries. Okay. So again, it just comes down to experience, learning, trying to figure it out and asking questions with it. Okay. Asking questions with it. But it's so important that you pay attention to the details, like what Rowan said with the amount that his win ratio. For me, I know what Florin's win ratio is. Okay. We talk about it a lot. And this is something that's really important for you guys. Does anybody have any questions they want to ask me? Otherwise, I'll hand it back to Rowan.
I have a quick question, please. I don't know if it was this week or past week in a session when you were talking about a very similar Oracle strategy. And I think you were talking about the TK line, the lines of the cloud and then the gap in between. And I did not quite follow that. Is that something that you could quickly briefly just show us?
So I jump on the chart normally around 5 a.m. UK time. Okay. I like to get in and start watching and seeing what's going on. So if this was this morning, I think it was this morning. Now this was Monday. This was Monday morning at 2 a.m. This was Monday morning at 4 a.m. What time are we on? Yeah, 4. And then, so let's go to the 1 hour. And now I can see on the 1 hour where price is. So right now, this is not telling me we're going to go up. We're below this area here. Big gap in between. but we haven't closed above it. So already, just looking at this, if I'm looking for bigger buys, I need price really to have a nice close push below, above that yellow line. Okay. Once it does, then I'm expecting a continuation up to here, which is where I would be expecting price to come up to. Yeah. Now, what I then do is I go to different time frames and I try and figure out what's going on with price on different time frames. And when I go to the 15 and 10, now I can start to see price might be coming up slightly, but not that far. So I go to the 5 minute, and I really, as I get lower, I need these to cross over below price for me to think it's going to go up. Otherwise, if not, I'm not really too interested. So all I'm trying to find is a period of time when price, the white lines are split quite big, and I then believe that price will probably try and continue through to touch the other white candle, yeah, the other white line. But as you can see right now, nothing was telling me it was trying to do that, and so it just continuation down, right? So then all I do is I just keep an eye on that, and whenever I see a split on the higher time frames of the TK lines, those white lines, where we're in between them, then there's a higher possibility it will continue to hit the other TK line. Doesn't mean it'll always happen. Remember probabilities, but there is a good chance that it will do it. Okay. So if I look at this, let's go to the 4 hour. I don't see anything yet. Okay. So 1 hour, and then the lower the time frame, the less I take confidence from it. And again, look, because of all of that, I was not looking for buys. I was looking for more sells and price going down rather than up. Okay. Now you can see, similar to what I just said there, has happened here. Okay. So now we've had a break above this kind of support resistance, and there is a higher probability of this is now going to drop down and then possibly come up and touch this zone. Yeah. So now we press it and see, and news could change that for sure. But there is a higher possibility that we're now, I'm not thinking this is going to go up to the moon straight away, because the TK lines are coming together. Rowan is much more skilled, but there you go. Yeah. So I would have been looking predominantly more for buys during this period of time than sells. Now I go to the 2 hour. Now look at this. Do you see it? Yeah. Now we're closing in above. Okay, this is telling me we actually might come and back down to these areas, but I'm not expecting price to come down to here anymore. If I was a gambling man in the next day to 2 days, I'm expecting my money is on, we're coming up to this area, up to these zones where I've already got a nice support resistance mapped out. I've got an ETM candle up here, these nice wicks here, black candles, no green. Okay, well, let's see what happens. It may not, but let's see. Price is there bouncing, and guess where it went? Up into that zone. Yeah. And so whenever you see these types of gaps, there you go. Another confirmation on the 4 hour. So if I'd have gone to the 2 and the 4, guys, I think we're going this way. Now, if there's a news coming in, as I always said, everything is out the window. Everything goes out the window. But otherwise, you can keep taking a look at what that does, and there's a higher possibility, and you can see what price did. So now you need to go and back test this theory. Yeah, just like how comes Rowan is able to go and make the decisions that he makes, because of he's back tested it. That's all he's doing. So again, we can go and do it here. And this is just a TK lines theory. Doesn't mean it's always going to work. Okay. But if we go and take a look at this now here, and we go and look at the 4 hour, let's look at the 3, let's look at the 2. Okay, we are below the TK lines right now. When we haven't closed above, and there's not a big gap that's telling me that we are looking for price to go up, up, up and away. Okay, there may be one on the 30-minute, but I need really a confirmation of price breaking above this for us to try and come up to these areas up here. So let's play, and that's why definitely wasn't any chance of buys yet. Now I'm going to keep an eye on the higher time frames and see what's going on. So right now you can see we're extremely bearish. So I'm going to keep an eye on the 4 hour and then see if we can start to see some signs on the TK lines, which have no interest in splitting. What very rarely do you see that. Right, cool. There you go, cool. So now we go to the 4, go to the 3. Is there a split? It's getting bigger on the lower time frames, is it? 2 hour. Okay, we are nowhere near. 1 hour, 30-minute. Aha, can you see? We're getting a bit of a split here. Now, I'm not interested. Let me move this down. I'm not interested in guesstimating because we're above everything right now. It's taken me to get to this point. So I'm probably not really going to look for sells until below here. And then the target is down here. But the higher time frames aren't giving me confirmations on that. So this is not a trade that I'm excited about, should I say. Okay, so we just wait, we wait, we wait, we wait, and then we see if something breaks. Now look what happens with the TK lines. I am not interested in that at all. It's not part of that trading plan, but now look at the 1 hour. Okay, interesting. Let's see what happens on the 1 hour. Do we get a break below there? And if we do, then we can be looking for sells. But right now, it's not valid. Okay, look what the 1 hour did. Not interested. Give me the 2 hour. Okay, maybe it's not going to happen until the 2. Possibly, I could put my possible entries here on the 2 hour. Let's see. There you go. Right, so now the 2 hour push down. How many pips is your trading strategy? Because this would be the break from here down would be only 10 pips. That's not enough for me for my trading strategy. It's not. So therefore, I wouldn't have taken the trade. But now let's see if the next 2 hour candle pushes down again. There you go. And so now you can see, because of this wick here, because of we started to drop, look at the 4 hour. There's a split on the 4 hour now. Okay, guys, if I'm a gambling man right now, just from watching the price and watching the TK lines, then my bet is that we're coming into this zone. We've got a nice area of resistance over here. I haven't checked anything else. I haven't checked the Oracle, which we're below the Oracle. Another confirmation. I haven't checked Asian range. Where is Asian? We're below Asian near enough. Okay, cool. In the next day to 2 days, I think that we're going to be down here. Could be wrong. This folder here could kill us and move us to a different way, but there you go. Done. Just using TK lines. Just using TK lines. Now, if that's a strategy that looks good for me, then I now know that I'm probably, some of these trades are going to take 4, 8, 12, 6. These are day trades. Now I know, experience, most of you may not know this, if you hold a trade overnight, there are swap fees. If it's a sell, you make money holding the trade. They pay you if you hold sells. If it's a buy, you actually lose money. Most people don't know this. Yeah. So if the market's starting to move in a downtrend, I'm holding sells even more so because I know I'm going to make more money if I'm a day trader. Okay. So, and on Wednesday's triples, there you go. Right. So now we're below. Let's see on the 4 hour. Let's go to the 2. I'll show it one more time. 2 hour, there's a nice little split. So we take our little line here, or I won't even take a line. I'll just do a line like this. 1 hour, what's it looking like? Okay, we might get a crossover on the lower time frames below. Hey, we've got a nice ETM candle up here. So will I try and take the buys, or will I try and take a sell up here as an example? If it does it. Okay, if it does it. If not, then I just won't take it, but we just got to wait and see. So let's press play. Break above, does it? Not yet. There you go. There's your break above. Does it reject near that line at the top? Yes, it did. Did you see the size of the rejection here to here? So I could either look at taking sells when it gets to this zone, or I could look at the breakout and taking a buy. Yeah. We're on a downtrend. So is there a possibility of us coming back down to this area? There is, to take a buy, but I'm not going to take that unless I see confirmations on my TK lines. Let's go to the 1 hour. There you go. Can you see it? ETM candle here. You can either try and take sells and guess it, or wait and take the buy. It's totally whatever your strategy is. Gets to there and we near enough reject and go the opposite way. Yeah. Okay, that is purely using nothing other really than the TK lines and back testing. One more time, just to go over it again, so you can see this, and then I'm handing it back. You see how we're getting another split? Let's look on the 2 hour, 1 hour. Takes a little bit of time, this. Okay, I don't really see anything else, but let's keep an eye on the 4. Let's keep an eye on the 4. Nothing, so there's no confirmation yet. Price is just shooting up. Keep an eye on the 4. Keep an eye on the 4 hour. We're just above. You can see all the other time frames. I don't really see a big split. TK lines, they're part of the cloud. So you see when Rowan has his cloud up, there's the big cloud, and then there's the 2 lines, or actually has 3 lines around it as well. Okay, so now we are, and this is good to watch. Remember, we've already highlighted earlier a strong support resistance area here and up here. So if I now get a confirmation here like this, and we get a break below this line now, I might try and look for, see if price will come back down to here, and then see if there's an ETM in this area for it to reject and stay back above this area. Okay, so let's see. Right now it hasn't broken that red, so I'm not interested. Look at where this line is still staying here. Okay, now we've broken. Do I see it on other time frames as well? Oh, look at that for a split. This is lovely. Now look at the 4 hour. Not ready on the 4. 1 hour. Okay, cool. Let's keep an eye. Everybody knows I like this one, so I am targeting this wick. Let's keep going. Boom. Okay, let's keep an eye on the 2 hour. All right, let's watch this on the 2. I need a break below. It did. Did it reject here? Like I said, yes, because we've got a support. So there's probably an ETM something over here. Go to the 1 hour, go to the 45, go to the 30, go to the, what time are we? What date are we? April. It should let me do this. 20, nothing. Okay, what else could be a confirmation? Rowan will tell you. Asian range. Let's turn on the Asian range. We're below Asian. Fantastic. I am looking for this to carry on down possibly. Let's go to the 4 hour, the 2. Look at this. This is beautiful. Okay, let's see. Without the Oracle, without the TK lines on, I'm still looking for this to come down. We were below the Asian range. That was the 3rd confirmation. Below the Asian range, below this area, probably an ETM over here on the left. Yes, there was. Look at that. Boom, take the buys, push up. So just going off of what we're showing you here, the probability of us guessing a lot of these right and wrong is higher than messing up all the time. So now we just need to figure out a strategy that works with this. And this is, by the way, this isn't how I trade. But I look at all these different things to give me a confirmation of where I think price is going to go on a daily basis. And then I can use my 20 pips to try and catch the trade. Ryan, is there anything you want to add to all of that?
The only thing I want to add, and then Florian I want to add as well, is backtesting is important, but the backtesting only works until you actually take the trades. So don't just backtest all the time and never take the trades based on your backtesting. The only way you get confident at it, like myself, Mr. Hunt, Florian, is because we backtested enough and now we're actually taking the trades. Let's say if you want to backtest a new strategy, this is something I also learned from Mr. Nagamar as well, is use a demo account.
Mm-hmm.
Take the trades on a demo account, then see how many, if you're able to grow a demo account, now you're, after you've done at least 10 different scenarios, and you know your win rate is high enough, and this is where Mr. Hunt talked about win rate and why it's important to know that, because I know for myself that my risk to reward ratio, I'm risking 1% to gain 2%. So to gain 2% or 3% per trade. So I know that's a minimum of 12 to 15% I'm gonna to gain. Let's go with the minimum of 12. That means even if I lose 4 trades out of the 10, I'm still in 8% profit by the end. Now that I know that, now you can start to use that on a demo account just to test out that strategy that it's still working for you, but you're taking the trade. The most important thing is to take the trade when you see it, but with a strategy. Once you do that, that's when you actually get the confidence. You don't get the confidence from these calls alone. You don't get the confidence from just back testing. The confidence comes when you've come on these calls, you've done the back testing, and you've taken those trades yourself.
Right. It's exactly that. Exactly that, guys. And then the other thing, so you should be taking notes now. Okay. And so when you're taking notes, another thing to then start to look at, when you see the lines split, if this is your strategy, okay, when they do break out to push back up, and this is on the 1 hour, an ETM candle is up above here. So personally, I'll be looking for possible sells here. And if you're looking for a breakout, then you understand how you're going to take the trade in the breakout, right? But now look at when it does make the move, if it makes the move. Remember, you've got to be adaptable so that you know that it may not do it, okay? And recognize certain things that go on in the market that give you the confidence. And whenever you do that, you'll then start to see common themes of things that happen, okay? So look, came up and rejected here and came back down. What time was that? 4 p.m. That's roughly New York session. New York session. So if you start to see a split happening, and then you go and turn on certain things like the Asian range, we went up and we hit the bottom of Asian, and then we dropped back down. So now you can start to put in all the different formulas that are telling you this may actually drop more or go up or go down. So look, let's do it again. 4 hour, I'm not interested right now. Let's see when we can get a split on either the 4 hour or the 2 hour. Okay, we're getting a slight split, okay? See this? So now I can identify here that we have a kind of support at this area, all right? Let's go to the 1 hour and see. Okay, 1 hour is not really telling me too much. Go to the 2. Let's have a look at the 3, Rowan's favorite. Okay, and look, ETM candle down here, and then a 4 hour. Perfect. Can you see it? Right, so now I need to pay attention. Now I need to take in consideration other things. What time of day is it? Okay, 8 p.m. at night, UK time or Czech time. So I'm not really thinking that this thing's going to do that move. But if it does, then London session, it may push back up. So let's watch and see what happens. So during Asian, this would be now, this has happened. This is at 6 a.m. Okay, so this is Asian. All right. If I go to the 1 hour, look at that. Asian session. If we go to the 4, look where it is. Go to the 1 hour, look where it is. Okay, at our ETM line here, we're at 6 a.m. 8 a.m. Sorry, 7 a.m. I know that when Asian closes, we normally have a retracement if we're near the bottom, back up. So normally, I've found through experience, price comes down into this area and then pulls back up to here, right? That's just from what I've seen. So if I go to the 4 hour, well, we're near enough at this zone. So this could be the move today that happens from that. It may not happen until the New York session. So all I do is I take a look at what happens here, and let's do it on the 1 hour just to pay attention and see what happens. Price came up and then came back down. Okay, now we're below the Asian and we've hit that TK area that we've broken below. We're below this zone. If price comes back up, I'm not expecting it to come up to here. I'm expecting eventually that we're going to probably end up down here. So let's press the button and see, and there you go. Came back up to this area, not up to here, came up to the low of Asian, and then pushed back down. Just by using the TK lines, an ETM candle, and Asian range, and knowing that this is coming into the New York session around now. Okay. So Aniko, does that help answer your question a little bit more in depth?
It does, but I have to tell you, I will definitely have to rewatch this probably twice, because right now I have kind of my brain is just like overloaded.
So next time, what you should do you have a chart, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm respectful of everybody's time now. So next time you go and backtest this from the Hebrew language or the Chinese I've just spoken in, take what you have understood, right? And I challenge you to go and try it and backtest it, and then come back on the next study group call and say, right, guys, I do not get it. I even tried it and I still don't get it. Okay. And then once we see what you're trying, now we can identify where you're getting it wrong. But right now, I have no idea what you get and what you don't get. Yeah.
I want to
Okay.
focus first on the TK lines and see kind of the movement, just as you showed, kind of the 15-minute, and then checking that against the other time frames, and then layer on the ETM candles and Asian, because when I try to put everything together, that just kind of convolutes everything for me. That's just too much.
Sure.
At least for now.
Everything's in increments. You don't go and try and complete a puzzle just blind doing everything. No, you go get the red pieces, you get the corners, you get the sides, you do each section, and all of a sudden you get the frame, and then all of a sudden you do the middle bit. And the hardest bits are the ones that are the middle parts that don't have many colors. Okay.
Thank you.
But you'll figure it out if you figure it out. So look, Asian range previously over here, right? We're now having a nice Asian range pushing up 4, 5. We're coming to the end of Asian time. So watch, I'm expecting us to try and tap back into this area because of this should be a bit of blockage, and we're coming nearer to the end of the Asian. Now, if it only comes down to 50%, then, which it should come down, but it may not. Now we're getting a split. Cool. That's given me another confirmation. We're now in London session. So now I'll predominantly be looking more for buys later on, rather than thinking prices coming down there. However, we've got to be careful of news. Okay. So now let's see what happens. Now we had news. So again, all analysis goes out the window. Yeah. But essentially, that's essentially it. Like I said, I don't want to overload you, but I think take the key things away from this. Figure out a strategy that works for you. Yeah. Figure out the strategy that works and come up with a strategy. David, I don't have any strategy at all. Okay, go try the TK line one. Okay, go add in the Asian range. Do you see a correlation of where the Asian range is and the TK lines and where they are? Go and ask Rowan how he does his cloud. How much would you pay Rowan to learn his formula? If he can show you the stats and it works, how much would you learn? How much would you be studying that formula? Yeah, my formula is not from anybody else, but I've taken pieces from Lacey. I've taken pieces from Rowan. I've taken pieces from Florin. I've taken pieces from G Money. I've taken pieces from so many other traders that I've added them to what I see to make my decisions. Yeah. Cool. This has been a 2-hour call. Man, I'm pooped. So I'm going to hand it back to you guys. Hopefully you've taken something from this. I think the key thing is learn the basics, have a trading plan, and then go and try stuff, then come back to base and tell us what have you tried. And I'd highly recommend you guys setting up a WhatsApp group so that you can all just discuss trade ideas. Guys, did you guys get what David said? No, me neither. Me neither. What an idiot he is. Not you. What an idiot he is. Yeah, you can talk crap about me and Ryan there. Say whatever you want. Yeah, guys, let's team up and tell them we don't like you. We don't get it. Let's have some fun with it. Huh? Life's too short. So I'll hand it back to you, bro.
Thank you, Mr. Hunt. I know I learn every single time Mr. Hunt, Florin, or any of the educators are speaking. And, you know, I was just making notes at the same time. Mr. Hunt, just before you go, and then I'll pass it over to Florin. How many confirmations do you look for before you take your trade?
Okay. There's no set way, guys. There isn't. If you have children on this call, you'll understand what I mean. There's certain times that you just know by seeing one thing that your child's either tired, hungry, or something's going to happen, or he's about to go for a poop, or you just know. And there's other times that I need to see a couple of confirmations to say, yeah, he's tired, you know. And so what I find is common themes. So I know that I don't need a lot of confirmations that my son's tired when it's around 9:30, 10 a.m. in the morning, because he woke up at 7, which is a nice 3-hour window of him. Okay. So I only need one confirmation. I don't even need confirmation. My confirmation is me. He's going to bed. I need my time. Right. Mrs. needs to get a power nap. I need breakfast, whatever it may be. Okay. But there's other times that we're out and about in between 4 and 5 or 3, and we don't know if he needs a sleep or not. Today was a prime example. We are pushing the pushchair through the high street, and he starts doing this humming. And Nikki looked at me. She's like, uh-oh. That's all she said. Uh-oh. I know that sound. I said, I know that sound too. What should we do? Well, it's too late now. We can't sleep. But there's other times that we're around Nikki's mum's, and we're like, is he tired? I can't really tell. I'm not too sure. Does he need to sleep at this time? I'm not sure. And it's the same with trading. It's the same with it. The secret to success is the same with anything, guys. Anything. The more you do something, the more you'll get a feeling of it. The more you'll understand, the more it makes sense. And the more you're around people that have that same feeling, the more you can feed off their energy and the more success you can have. So I like to try and find as many confirmations to say he needs to go to sleep. Yeah. Because the more confirmations I have, the more he's going to go to sleep. Right. But sometimes I can gamble a bit more and say, I just made 6.5% this month already. I only need 2 confirmations here because it's done certain things. I'm just going to risk 1% and put him to sleep anyway. If he doesn't sleep, no worries, I got it wrong. I lost 1%. I'm still in profit. So I look for certain things, and there's certain confirmations that I see. TK line split, Asian range, where are we at? A 1 hour candle, a 2 hour candle, a 4 hour candle about to close normally at certain ways. It's going to do something. ETM candle, all of these things come in. And then I see other successful people. And that's why I kept bringing Lacey on. Lacey, show us what you see. Why? I want to know. Ah, she used the Oracle a lot. Okay, cool. Get Rowan on. I see how he uses the cloud. And so, okay, I look at the cloud. I see what G-Money does. G-Money's chart looks super clean. I hate him. Super clean every time it hits where he wants. Okay, I see what he sees. And so I just go, you look at Raja Banks outside of Elevate. You see what Raja Banks sees, how he does his breakouts, you know, price action. So I just keep looking at all these. And the more I see all these confirmations, the more I'm like, yeah, I'm happy with that. Okay. So yeah, there's no textbook. That's why there's no bot out there, no bot at all in the world that will work for longer than 1 year to 2 years maximum. None. You will never find a bot that does that. Why? Because if it did, all of us would be using it, and the economy would crash. Yeah. So I hope it'll part to your question anyway.
Yeah, no, that definitely answered my question, and I appreciate you sharing. Okay, so there's something I just want to share, and then I'll bring on Florin. Is for me, I actually had this conversation with Mr. Hunt, which is I wanted to narrow down the time that I'm trading to a specific time in the day and get used to an hour to 2 hour time frame. Okay, which is why I only trade myself. I only trade New York session between 2 and maximum 4 p.m. UK time. After that time, I don't look for trades.
There you go.
Okay, that has helped me to understand the chart even better because I understand how it moves in that particular time frame.
This is
Oh.
my point, by the way. I don't trade New York. I can't trade it. The volume and the volatility doesn't work for my strategy. So it works for Rowan's. I have to trade end of Asian, pre-London and London, 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Why? Lose asleep. I got my own time. And I see that the volume, the way it moves, I can read it better. It works better for my strategy to work. And there's less risk for me. Yeah. Now, it doesn't mean I can't go and do New York and catch trades. It doesn't mean Rowan can't do my sessions and catch trades. But what he's realized is he doesn't. Do you see Rowan on my calls? No. Why? Oh, because he doesn't like data. No. Do you see me on Rowan's calls? Sometimes, but very rarely. Why? Because he has realized if he's on my call, he could end up taking a trade that is not part of his plan, not part of his strategy. Now, if Rowan just wants to learn, he'll be on that call every day. But he's figured out a strategy that works for him. And consistently over time, over 60, 65% win rate. Right, stick to it, do it. Done. There's others on here that are good at trading. They are. Florin doesn't trade the way I trade. Doesn't work for him. He sees things that can add confirmations, but he has his strategy. He has his time frame that he normally he sends his chart of his setup for what he's looking for in trade. I've already finished for the day. Okay, so I just wanted to add that. So I think it's really important for everybody to know there's no one size fits all.
Yeah, and the next thing that I wanted to share is I normally look for 3 confirmations, but if I see more, like Mr. Hunt shared, where I'm seeing 4, 5 confirmations, that's where I may increase my lot size slightly, depending on how much profit I'm already in for that month. If I haven't made profit, let's say it's the beginning of the month, this is also part of my plan. At the beginning of the month, let's say the 1st to the 10th, I am risking less per trade, and I'm happy to just make 1-2% and just secure profit. As I've got to at least 10%, around about 10% profit for me, that's where I'm able to now risk a little bit more per trade. Okay. So that's part of my particular plan, but I only risk more when I've got at least 4, 5, 6 confirmations. That's where I'm saying, okay, I'm willing to risk more based on where I am in terms of for that month in terms of percentage as well. Okay.
Ryan, on that note as well, I just want you guys to understand, just from going over the TK line split today, I've actually seen some things there, and maybe you have too. I've seen some things there. I'm like, holy crap, like I'm going to study the TK lines more right now because there's certain things that we could guess where it was going roughly just by the TK lines. And that's not even one of the main things that we use. So I'm learning from this call. Remember, when you teach, you learn even more. So please make sure you're taking stuff away from this.
Awesome. Okay. Well, so Florin, are you still able to speak? I know you said
and I'm going to add one more thing here.
Yeah,
one more thing, because I think this is crucial. There is a gentleman that is arguably the best trader in the world that I've seen and witnessed. He's made the percentages he makes on a monthly basis compounded has brought in over 1 billion of investment for this person to trade. Okay. And this person I speak to quite regularly, and he has videos that he sent me to learn from what he used to teach in a group that he used to teach, right? Anybody want to guess in the chat how long each video training is? $10 minutes. Up to 10 minutes. One hour, 5 hours, 1 hour, 2 hours, 2 hours, 5 minutes. You're all incorrect. The answer is 8 hours per video. 8 hours. The best trader I've witnessed that is legit, 8 hours. I have watched videos upon videos of his at 2 times speed. So anybody that thinks that this 2 hours is too long, compress time frames quick, I'm telling you. Because the more you study now, the less you have to study in the future. Florin, because it's you, I may look after you.
Oh, trust me, 8 hours. Oh my God. No, I'm never gonna sleep. If you have more than 7 videos, it's gonna be my record of not sleeping. Anyway, well, what can I say more after this training? You know, it's like I don't have words anymore. First of all, I'm ashamed I don't have a camera, so you are just looking at my name on the screen. You know, I tried with the phone died. It's not my night. No, but the key thing in this training is the value. And I want all of you to understand this. You need to see the value of this training, not as, you know, trying to learn how to trade or Rowan's strategy or David's strategy. The value of this, of the experience shared, of the steps, the way they trade, the way they think, which every little piece of information will make you as the trader you need to be. Like what clicked for me when I joined Elevate 2 years ago was how simple the platform was and how it took you from step 1 to the end of the learning curve, you know, with just simple things. And that's the thing that I encourage each and every one of you is to go through the Elevate, through all the videos and all the teachings. You cannot expect to learn any kind of strategy, or even you should not watch the chart before you know what the pip is or what the lot size is or how you should set them. You know, it's like trying to drive the car without knowing which one is the gas pedal and which one is the brake. So that's what I would like to advise all of you. Everything, all questions, all basic questions are in Elevate. I used to do it back in the day when I had it as a punishment. Every time I blew an account, I had to go through the whole Elevate program. So I did it so many times, and I'm not joking, until when I was hearing ETM, BEC, draw-based draw, rally-based rally, like the hair on my arms was sticking out. I was getting goosebumps. You know, I was sick and tired of it. So it scarred me in a good way, because I managed to do it and reach that point where I didn't have to go back anymore, because it was, I already knew word by word what was going on there. So that's the thing that I wanted to say. And I know it's 90% psychology, and psychological we are all different. Like if I tell you what works for me, maybe it won't work for you, but you need to know what works for me. Because like David said, you can take a piece of that information and use it for yourself, right? That's the whole point. Like I know that trading is like a lone wolf game, whatever, but if you do it in a community, it's like so much better. Maybe you didn't find a mentor, maybe you don't know where to start, but if you are in the right place with people that are aiming at the same thing like you, then it's much better and much faster. You have mistakes that other people did, which you can see, learn from without doing them yourselves. Or when you're gonna do them, they're gonna be on a much lower, let's say, gravity, right? I don't know if that was the word. Anyway, the whole point is, I'm gonna make it short. You know, it's like 2 years ago when I first joined when we first started with trading calls, and I remember David said that I'm gonna be short and brief about this. It's gonna be bam bam straight to the subject. And next time I watch the clock, 2 hours passed by. So that's how you know when a person just puts his soul in it, right? And that's person which you want to listen, right? Who is practicing something that you want to practice, right? You need to see that that person has the passion for it, because for sure he will tell you everything. Even if he doesn't want to tell you some things, he will tell you, because it comes out naturally. So I'm gonna share my screen just so you won't you won't watch a blank screen. That one small thing, like for example, I had many trading ways and I stick to only one. Like my main focus right now is protecting my capitals and my emotions. So in order to do this, I have to take only the best setups. And those best setups are for me. Maybe they are not the best for Rowan or David, but for me they are. So knowing this, for example, I will tell you what I did today. Like I was waiting for this area down here, which is roughly a 30-minute consolidated base of the consolidation area with a brother engulfing, right? So I fibbed this area. And if you ask me why I fibbed this area, let me put the chat here so I know. If you ask me why I fibbed this, is because this is the low, right? This is the low that started the move, and this is the high. So I fibbed it, and when I fibbed it, it was like this, right? In the morning. So I have different golden zone than Rowan, but this doesn't mean that my golden zone is better. Let's make that clear, right? So this is my golden zone. This is Rowan's. Both of them have an ETM candle. Both of them have the possibility to reject. Where did the price reject from? Rowan's golden zone, right? So based on the fib tool, this morning, Rowan was the winner. If price would come down lower, Rowan would have been stopped out, and I would have been entered at a very good price with a bigger margin of profit. So I would have been the winner. So you see how it goes. Like you need to find a way that it works for you. For me, in order to protect my emotion, I need to take the best setups. So I'm willing to miss on trades, because my trade has to happen in this area here, around 0.78. I need to have an ETM candle here. I need to have liquidity on top. I need to have a gap, which I don't clearly on here on this time frame, right? An imbalance, and many other confirmations. So if I take this, I know that my emotions are protected, because I will feel zero regrets if it goes down and takes my stop loss and then goes up. Maybe a little bit of frustration, but and if it goes in my profit, I know that I can keep it until at least 0.38, which would give me a roughly more than 1 to 2. This doesn't matter, because seeing this, like Rowan said, seeing this, I can see that it's on the short term. I can see it's on a uptrend. Why? Because it broke structure here. Because it broke structure here. So I have a higher high, a higher high, a higher high. Okay. On the overall, I can see that from here until down here, we are still in a downtrend, right? We just broke structure here. So it happened this evening, right? So I can talk about this for hours, and maybe it will be difficult for the people that are in the beginning to understand, right? Maybe it will be difficult, but that's why I want to say go and watch Elevate, because Elevate was what brought me the basics. And I end up at this stage after many mistakes. And I tried my best not to leave any mistake without a lesson, without learning a lesson from it. So like that, I would just, when you hammer a nail, It's very rarely when you have such power that you can hammer it from one strike, right? So what you do it 1, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, slowly until it goes all the way down. So that's what I try to do with every mistake I made, to hammer that nail until there was nothing anymore to hammer. So I don't feel any emotion when I do a mistake, or when I lose a trade, or it takes my stop loss. I have a 63 win rate. Let me actually check right now. I have a 63 win rate. Yeah, 63% win rate on my main account. So that's basically 131 winning trades out of 207 taken on a span of 8 months, which is recorded on this MyFX book. So knowing that my statistic is only 63%, it's like, is good. Yeah, it's very good. But I need to be careful, right? Because I know that I'm trying to protect my emotions and thus my capital. So I always try to take the best possible trade there is out there for myself. And that's what I want all of you to know, to try to do the same. It's a journey, expect to make mistakes, expect to have a lot to learn, and don't feel bad when the pain will come, if it will come. Just feel blessed because you got that out of the way. If I know I have 6 winning trades out of a 10 span of trades, and I lose 4 trades, then I'm glad I lost those 4, because it's gonna come 6 winning ones. So it's all about trying to see what works from you, seeing what works for others, and taking pieces. But David and Ron already said all of this is nothing new. Is just go to the basics. Go to the basics and go over them 2, 3, 4 times until you understand the basics. What's a pip? What's a lot size? Which currency pair you want to trade? That's also important. And basically everything that Elevate tells you, because it teaches you from creating an account up to trading it, right? So now we have Trading Buddy as well. Understand how it works, understand why, and that's going to give you confidence a little bit. And based on how passionate you are about this, in time you're going to be like, you're going to start to see success faster and faster, and it's going to click for you, like week after week, month after month. I've blown another account, no problem, we're going to start again and going back to demo. Or I'm gonna risk less. Next time I'm gonna invest only $100. And if that 10% profit by the end of the month is gonna make you feel bad about your gains, just think of that account. Put 3 more zeros in the end of it, right? Because the way you trade $100 is gonna be the same way you're gonna trade $100,000. It doesn't matter. Treat it systematically like a robot, like an algorithm. Try to understand what moves the market. If you see you have news in a day, there was a question like how much time you wait after the news or something like that. What time I really love to trade the news. And why is that? Because it's been more than, I think, 8 months now since I've been involved in learning the fundamental part of trading, because basically that's what sets the direction of the day most of the times. Like NFP or CPI, which are strong fundamental news, or federal fund rate. So you see the gold consolidating. I only trade gold, that's it, nothing else. And since I started Forex, only gold. So you see it consolidating until the news, and then right 1 hour before it starts to break, fake out, go the other direction, double fake out, and then news comes, and all retail traders are with the head in the cloud, dazzled and destroyed mentally. They cannot trade anymore. So seeing it consolidating, it means that it's preparing for something. So I got a feeling about fundamentals is really important. So I started to learn on that and go deep into it. And now I love to trade news because I can anticipate. I can make a fundamental analysis. The same way I make a technical one, and I combine those two, and I get front run news. Doesn't go in my favor every time. You know, you have a lot of manipulation. I still use stop losses. A lot of the time it goes 100 pips against you and then goes the right way another 400 pips. So it's gold. And you know, yesterday we had the fund rate. We had what was a Friday news, right? And then we had Monday, Tuesday, nothing. Or no, Tuesday and today, nothing. And tomorrow we're going to have unemployment claims. Because after all, this is consolidation, right? Look at this. Let me remove everything. Look at this. What is this for you? And this started beginning of January. I'm on the 4-hour time frame, right? It went down, up, down, up, down. What's it gonna do? The same like it did before, right? Well, tomorrow is gonna be 8th of February. What did it do before? Well, it broke, retraced, retested, continued. So it caught a trend and it went up. You had higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. What do I have here? Well, I don't even know because it's consolidated. So of course, on the lower time frames, you can find, you know, a trend like these stairs, which were followed by the elevator, right? On NFP. Like I've seen it so many times. Did I trade it? Yes. Did I win it? Yes. Why? Because I've seen it so many times that it gave me the confidence to do it. You remember I said on Telegram that we are so used to having a secure job that's going to pay us just because it did so many years before. But in the end, you put your career in the hands of a person. Here, you have the chance to put it in your hands. You know, you just need to work on your mentality to understand that what we are trading are patterns. It's an algorithm that is moving the market based on buying and selling. So when price goes to a point, it's filling up orders, buys or sells, right? But going away from that theory, you can at any point press a button, buy or sell. You're gonna have 50-50 chance that it will go in your favor or against you. So what you are trying to do is move those odds in your favor. That means putting in confirmations, you know, it's a downtrend, okay, another 2-3% in your probability scenario, you are like 58-42. Then you have a gap that is going to be filled, right? Okay, another 2-3% in your favor. And then you have an ETM candle on the 2 hours, right? On the 2 hours time frame. What is this? An ETM candle, brother engulfing, right? Which, by the way, for me is the most powerful ETM candle in Elevate. It's an ETM candle which broke the consolidation, moved aggressively, left a huge imbalance behind. That at one point the market will fill because there are older orders to be filled. So I have one liquidity level, another liquidity level. What do we know? That gold likes to hunt liquidity levels, right? And then I have what? Well, a slowly created upwards trend. The same like here, which was followed by what? An elevator. I can expect the same based on the short history, yes? Right? The same here. Liquidity, liquidity, liquidity. Even here, even here. So it broke this liquidity. Boom. And then went down. This is the level I will wait for. Right? And now it's a matter of where I put the stop loss and so on, how much I target, and etc. But this is a level I'm looking for because it meets a lot of my criteria. Even if I take a FIB tool, I have the 78 right in the middle of it, right? So you see how this pattern matches all my criterias. And now I ask you, like, if I see all of this, and these are confirmations, right? What you call a confirmation. So I see all these confirmations, and I feel great about it. I can't wait for price to go there and execute my trade, and fill up my order. And it doesn't matter if I win or lose. I feel great because I did a job. I did my job. I made the analysis. I saw all the confirmations that I want to see from a trade to happen. I placed the trade, and now I'm excited. I'm waiting for price to come in and fill me up. So if it does and goes in my favor, which I know that 6 out of 10 times is gonna do, if it goes in my favor, good. If it goes against me, again, good. I don't care about the outcome because it's all probability. When I care about the outcome, for me, myself personally, is at the end of the year. Now, each and every one of us is individual. Maybe some of you think and care about outcome by the end of the week, end of the day, it doesn't matter. All right, I'm not gonna hold you anymore because I know it is a lot. By manage, I mean, how do you set it? I don't know. How do you manage the trade, by limit orders or by alerts? No, it depends. For example, today, oh my God, for example, today, I've placed this alert here just because the price was all the way down here. There were no fundamentals going on today, so I didn't see the price moving all the way up here, right? So I've placed an alert because if I would place a limit order here, I would want it to be happening during New York session. Also what Rowan said, I like to trade only New York. Why? Because I want to see Asia and London creating structure. I want to see what the Asian tells London to tell New York to do. That's how I like to think of it. So I want it to happen on New York. I don't want it to be happening on London. No. Because if this happens on London, it has a huge probability for it to go even higher, take out this high, or this, or even this, or even higher. And then New York to come and set it down, right? So I want to see 2 different sessions, create structure preferably, in order to take a trade. What I did instead, I tried to trade my way to it. And this is what I learned from David 2 years ago, when he asked me on a trading call like this, and he said, who can tell me where the price will reject from? And I said, that 2-hour BEC. And he said, well, if you know that, why don't you trade your way to it? And that clicked. And I said, you know what? I will try to do that. And I do that a lot of the times. So today, once it broke on this candle, on the retracement around here, I didn't wait for this. I traded it up. Didn't stay much, chipped something out of it just because I don't like the way it moves. But I did it. You see? So every call is important. The same way, like every information you get from another trader is important. The same like everything you do in life is important, right? So I trade my way to it. If it didn't work, well, that was fine. Didn't care much about it. Risk was proper adjusted. So that's the whole. I don't have anything else to. I'd like Rowan David said everything. Like I'm not that active. I wish I was more active there, and I will be. I'm sure of it. But you need to understand that you need to see the value first of all from all of this. And I'm 2 years here, and I can still see more value coming in. It's like Rowan, the patience he has, I don't have. The way he, takes every question and so on. And like, if you were to ask me how to set I'm sorry, is no disrespect. If you were asking me how to set the lot size, I would say like, go to Elevate. Thank you very much. Come and ask me after you watch the video. I'm sorry, but that's how I am. I don't have patience for that. And I know that can be disrespectful, but it's not. I'm honest here. So that's why I big shout out to Ron. His patience and the way he likes to teach and has the willing to do this. None of us is paying him anything, right? Like, at least I'm not. I'm not giving him any money. I'm trying to take money from him when he loses and I win. Right? So try to see the value. That's the most important. Everything else will come. Just every time you fall, get up, dust yourself off, and keep going. It is gonna come. It is the domain where if you don't quit, you're gonna succeed. Simple as that. That's it for me.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you for sharing there, Florin. I know I took notes, and I was glued to the screen just now as well. And I can tell you, this call has been 2 hours 45 or 42 minutes. But as Mr. Hunt shared, with trading or with anything you want to become a master at, you have to think about what is the potential, what is the reward for you actually going through the time that you invest. So this is how I think about it, and this is how I think about trading, and this is how I think about everything that I do now. Either you're spending time or you are investing time. And I'll share with you the difference. You're spending time if you come on these calls and you don't take any action with that, with the information you've just heard from myself, from Mr. Hunt, from Florin. If you don't take any action from it, go and create that trading strategy. Go and back test. Go and take the trades on a demo account. Go and look at the fundamentals. Okay, then it just becomes time spent. It becomes time invested if you do all of that information or take parts away. You don't have to do everything, but take parts away, go and implement it. And now what happens is you gradually become a better trader. And over time, you'll start to see the reward for coming on calls like this, for going through Elevate and rewatching the videos. That's when you start to see the reward. Okay. So this information that has been shared, it's either time spent for you or time invested, but that you won't see that until the next 3-4 months, in terms of what your results are in 3 to 4 months time. That's when we'll know whether these calls have had a difference for you. Okay, because the important bit of information is everyone has access to the same information. Everyone agree that everybody has access to the same information. It's what you do with it that determines why some people are excelling further than others. Some people that they're earlier in their journey. But it's totally up to you what you do with the information. Okay. And the last thing I'll share is this is something that I know, this is definitely not Florin, but this is more, I would say, this is more myself and Mr. Hunt. Is actually, this may even be Florin as well, but I know Florin, when it comes to risk, he doesn't take much risk. But for me, when I started trading, the journey was I'd learn some information, implement it immediately. What that meant was I would put live money in the market and I would risk the live money. And the more money I lost, the more focused it made me in learning, because I understood the potential of the potential income you can earn from trading.
I never traded the demo account.
Okay, so well, Florida, exactly. So Florida didn't even trade a demo. I urge you, if you're still trading demo and you've gone through the basics, trade a real account. Even if it's $200, euros, pounds, put it into a real account. It will not become real for you. You'll speed up the learning process. Once you put real money in the market, you're taking the trades. And what will happen is, not when you're winning, but when you start losing, that will make you more focused on fine-tuning, getting that strategy, understanding what you're seeing in the market. putting the hours in. Okay. Because as Florence said, if you can do 10% on £100, you can do 10% on 100,000. It's the same pips.
Yeah, think of it that I learned this live by bleeding out.
Yeah.
So that's for me, this was a live lesson.
Sometimes you have to lose £1,000 in a trading account to be able to make 10,000 a month trading. Okay. I'm just that is just the truth about the journey. But you have to understand why you're doing it, and if you're committed to sticking it through to the end, then you know the type of income that you're walking into. Okay. So this has been recorded, as Mr. Hunt said, and Florian said as well. I won't be going over lot sizes on the next call. We won't be going over all of that information is in here. The recording will be sent out in the next 24 hours. You have access to this. Go and watch the recording, but don't just watch the recording. I would say watch the recording, implement it while you pause the recording while you're watching it. Go and open up the chart, implement it yourself, go back to the recording. That's how I learned. And that's what I've seen is the fastest way for people to learn. Do it yourself. Okay, while you're watching the videos. That's how I actually learn Elevate. That's how I learn everything. Okay. So love you guys, and I will see you. I believe Mr. Hunt was doing the live call in the morning tomorrow, 7:30 a.m. UK time. I'll be doing the live call for New York session at 1:45 p.m. And so I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.